everybody. How is it going? It's Julie today. Oh my gosh, I'm like sitting on my sweater. I'm a hot mess. All right. Anyway, so I have a question for you guys. Back in like 4 years ago when I started in this whole network marketing thing and I started really trying to build on Facebook, I started what we call a VIP group at my old company. How many of you guys, what I want to know is how many of you guys have a group that you have for your network marketing business or for your home-based business? If you've got a group, put a 1 in the comments just so I get an idea of who it is that has a group, right? And so I have a story for you. So back 4 years ago, what I started to do is I started to, and as you guys are tuning in, make sure you say, hey, let me know where it is you guys are coming in from, and drop me an emoji with your weather. What is it like? Today it's like cold and sunny here in Denver, but it was snowing yesterday. It was freezing. So drop me an emoji. Let me know what your weather is like over where you guys are. But back 4 years ago, as I was saying, I started a VIP group, and I just literally started adding everybody to my group, right? I was like, oh, they're gonna wanna be a part of my group. Let me add. And what ended up happening was there was no engagement, right? Like I would post in that group, I would try to nurture it, I would post several times a day, and then what would happen is I would hear crickets, okay? So if you've ever been in a Facebook group and it is like 0 interactive, can you put a 2 in the comments? You know exactly what it is I'm talking about, right? So that's what happened to me. All right, and so since then, I've become a little bit smarter. I've become a little bit more aware. And what I realized that I was doing is, even though I didn't like to post on my main page, like all these stock photos or whatever, I was doing, because it came off spammy and it came off, you know, like just feeling ucky. What I was actually doing was that in my VIP group or in my group, right? And so one of the things that I get asked a lot is, how do I get engagement in my group? And so what I want to do is I want to take some time with you guys to tell you some 4 tips that I've had with success on how to build up a Facebook group and have engagement, okay? Now, the one thing that I'm going to say is, I think more so now than ever, Facebook groups are really important, okay? And here's why I think Facebook groups are important. So if you don't have a Facebook group, listen up and make sure that you're paying attention, because I think Facebook is changing, and I think the algorithm of things are changing. And so like I've moved over to a business page, and I do have a business page, but I also have a Facebook group where I do a lot of mindset coaching and attraction marketing. So if you're not in my group and you want to be, put group in the comments, okay? But the reason that I moved over to this group is because with a Facebook fan page, what's happening is that it's not getting the reach that it did, right? Like several months ago, I would do a live video, and I'm dual broadcasting right now on my main page and my fan page. But like several months ago, I'd dual broadcast, and I'd get several hundred, 500, 600 views on my lives, and I'm not getting nearly that reach, right? I would do a post and I would get a ton of reach and a ton of engagement, and that's not happening. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take people from my fan page and nurture them more in my groups, because the groups, they're seeing the posts and they're seeing it, and that's where I'm spending a lot of my time nurturing everybody, okay? So whether you're doing some coaching or whether you're doing it with your network marketing business, it doesn't matter. We can bring some life back into those groups, okay? So here's my tip, okay? Tip number 1 is stop just posting about your products, okay? If I go into a group, or if I get added into a group, first of all, don't ever just add people into a group. Make them want to come to you. You're gonna get so much more engagement, okay? So what I did 4 years ago, like big no-no, don't do it, okay? But what I do is I post a lot of value, guys. I'm giving content that is not related to my products, right? So for my group, I've got network marketing tips and strategies, and I do, you know, talk a little bit about my coaching program, and I do talk a little bit about the courses that I have of going live on Facebook and the Confidence to Rock Your Business. But by and large, I am just providing 80% of the time value to my customers in my tribe, I should say. They're not even customers, to my tribe in my Confidence to Rock Your Business group, 80% of the time, okay? Now, 20% of the time, I might sprinkle in some information about my products. Same can be said if you're in network marketing, right? 80% of the time, you should be offering value to your customers in that VIP group or whatever you want to call it. 20% of the time, you can sprinkle in some information about your products, okay? So don't be spammy in those groups. Make it valuable. So if that makes sense, put valuable in the comments. You want to offer value. Put value, valuable, Okay, number 2, and I think I've said this, I kind of combined the two. Stop spamming, guys. You shouldn't be spamming on your main profile. You should be using attraction marketing. The same can be said, hey Michelle, how are you? The same can be said for your VIP groups. So like for my team, like we have a customer group where we put all of our customers in, and we definitely tell them about the specials and stuff, but then we also give value, right? We give tips and tricks that aren't related necessarily to our products that we're selling. Like if you're doing weight loss, you can do, and I'm going to get into some of those things that you could do. Do giveaways. So number 3, do a ton of giveaways. People love free stuff, right? Give them a giveaway or give them a gift certificate for product with your company if they do something, right? And the idea is that you need to keep building up these groups, right? From what I've seen, groups don't really become super engaged until you have in the thousands, right? So if it's a customer group, give an incentive for people to add people into this group. And I've got to tell you, if you're providing value and you're not spamming, they're going to be okay inviting other people into this group, right? If you're spamming like a spamster, it's not even a word, like if you're spamming like a spamster, then what's going to happen is nobody's going to want to include their friends, right? Like who wants to be sold all the time? Like I could turn on like an infomercial if I want that. Okay, so the idea is if you're providing value, if you're giving good ideas and insight and everything, then people are going to be more apt to invite others into the group. All right, so if this is making sense, can you please put a yes in the comments? You understand what it is I'm talking about, okay? We need to revive some life back into these groups, guys. They're like, I know they can be painful, right? Like when I had my group, it was painful to even like post in it. I didn't want to post in it. It was so painful. Okay, so do giveaways, contests and prizes. One of the contests that we've done is like a water challenge because we're like, we do health and fitness and wellness. And so we'll do just like a good old water challenge. And you can drink, you know, a gallon of water. We support each other to drink a gallon of water. There's no products involved, but then we're talking about how good we feel, right? And so people are adding their friends because they know their friends want to do the water challenge, right? And we're just providing good value. So you can do a contest and then we give away prizes at the end for the person that does the most engagement or the person that stuck with it the longest. We'll enter them into a drawing and we'll give away a prize, guys. These are ways that you can grow your group to get some like heart pumping back into these groups, okay? And I'm going to give you some ideas and tips in a second. So like, for example, skincare. Let's say you have a skincare line. Let's say you're a network marketing company and you do skincare, right? You could do a whole week on food and nutrition in your skincare and how to look younger by eating certain foods, right? You're not promoting your company, you're not promoting your products, but what you're doing is you're providing value for your customers, and they're going to want to add in their friends because they're going to learn how to look younger just by eating, right? And so you could do a whole series, so to speak, on clean eating and looking younger. All right? Then you could also do, like I mentioned before, the water challenge, right? The water challenge is huge. We had so much success. We actually ended up having, what was it? It was like, I don't know, like 4,000 people in the water challenge group, right? Because people wanted to be held accountable. And with that 4,000 people, that what we ended up doing is we nurtured that relationship. We provided so much value so that when we sprinkled in some of our products, guess what happened? Our sales went through the roof, right? Because we gave value. You lead from a place of value and not out of like having money breath, all right? And so you're providing just good old value. If this is making sense, can you guys please put making sense in the comments? And then what I need you to do is I need you to share this out with your team, because my guess is they've got some challenges that they need to, or some things that they need to do to up their game in their groups, okay? And you all should be having groups, like I said before, because of Facebook algorithms, all right? So make sure that you, I hear Heidi saying this is making sense. I'm hearing Michelle saying that this is making sense. Okay, guys, just make sure that you're sharing this out with your teams on your thing, because everybody needs to know this, because it has helped tremendously, okay? So then let's say you have health and wellness and you do weight loss, right? You could do an ab challenge, and you could do, come on in, teach them about different types of ab exercises that target every single muscle. provide value, right? You could do a water challenge, like I said. You could do a weight loss challenge. Let's say you do oils, right? You can do a how to stay healthy for the winter time. And you could talk about foods that you could be eating for the winter. And you could be talking about the oils that you could be and then you're sprinkling, right? Does everybody understand you're sprinkling in your products? 80% of the time you're providing value, 20% of the time you're not. You're sprinkling in your products. And that's okay because people want to learn from you, but they don't want to be spammed, all right? So this is what I suggest that you guys do. If you're sharing this, make sure you put share in the comments so that I can shout you out over here. I want you to try revamping your VIP group or your group or whatever you want to call it and see what happens, okay? And I guarantee that if you start to add some humor, if you start to add some tips, if you start to add some contests into this, you are going to see life back into your group. Now, let's say you're like me and you started your group and you just started adding people to it without asking them to be included. What I suggest that you do is I suggest that you do like a post thanking everybody for being here and telling them how they can opt out if they don't want to be there, right? Like you might be like, oh my God, but they're going to opt out. They're not going to buy. Guess what? They're not buying anyways, right? Like they feel like they got sold to be put into this group. So you can show them how to opt out, and that's going to provide you with credibility, and it's going to make it so that, people can trust you, right? You've broken that trust when you just are blanketly adding people to the group. And trust me, like I said, I've been there, all right? But what you can do is do a post and say, I'm going to be revamping this group. I'm going to be providing a ton of value, but I realize that some of you might have been added to this group without necessarily giving consent. And so what I want to do is I want to show you, I would love to keep you because there's going to be so much value, but what I'm going to show you how you can opt out of the group as well if you don't want to be here, right? And then as your group starts to get more engaged and more interactive, then that's when you start to do a contest and you start to add people to your group. And you start to do like, okay, this person, if you can add, the first person that adds 5 people into this group is going to win, X, Y, and Z. And what I recommend doing is having a questionnaire before they get added into the group. Like, what is your favorite skincare line? Or what is one area of, weight loss that you struggle with? Or, so that you get to know who they are and then you can help provide that value and meet their needs. All right. So anyways, these are my tips. I don't want to keep rambling. I could keep talking for hours, but I hope that this was helpful. If this was helpful, please hashtag value in the comments. And as always, let me know what questions you have, and I hope all is well. Bye.